is their man, Ryan Frazier.
Well, thank you. It's good to be out here with you today in this beautiful Colorado day. I want to thank the Gadsden Society and the folks from the Liberty on the Rock organization for helping to pull this great rally here today together. You know, we're here to talk about liberty for you and me. And I'd like to start off with sharing a little story with you. Any of you ever been whitewater rafting? Show of hands, been whitewater rafting before? All right, well, I went whitewater rafting a number of years ago down the Arkansas River. Now, it was a Class 5 river. Now, you can only go as high as a Class 6, so it's pretty strong, pretty rough, a real good current. And as we were coming down, we had about 4 or 5 boats. The guide said, look, we're going to pull over to the side here, and anybody who wants to, you can jump out the boats into the river, swim across, go up about 35 or 40 feet, and jump off a ridge back into the river. Well, everybody got out the boats except me. I don't know about you guys, but I don't jump off ridges. After a while, I see folks jumping off, and I finally get a little courage, I guess. And so I jump into the river and start swimming across. Now, I served 5 years in the Navy. One would think I could swim. And so I'm swimming, and I'm swimming, and I'm swimming. And I'm noticing, more so than I'm getting across this river, I'm going downstream. And nobody else is noticing. Now, at some point, you gotta admit when you're lost. And I felt like pretty much my life was at its potential end here. And so I screamed out, hey, I'm going downstream here. And the guide looked over at me and put your feet down. And I did, and I stood right up. As you can imagine, I was pretty embarrassed. I swam across the river, went up 40 feet and jumped off. It was liberating. But looking back, years later, looking back, what that experience taught me, it taught me that there are times when you have to put your feet down and stand up. Put your feet down and stand up to live your life. Stand up for what is right. And in our case here today, to stand up for liberty. Stand up for liberty. My mother, who is my hero, she separated from my father when I was 7 years old. She worked 2 jobs to provide for 3 boys. We didn't have much, but we had each other. And she instilled in my brothers and I a sense of do your part, do what's right, make a life for yourselves. And I carried that with me throughout my life. And so when Kathy, my wife, and I started out, she was pregnant, and all we had to our name was a Honda Civic, a 13-inch TV, a pillow, a blanket, and our clothes. That's it. But we also had a dream that somehow, some way, we'd make a life for ourselves. And I think that's what most people, most Coloradans, most Americans want, is to make a life for themselves. And that's why liberty matters so much. Advancing liberty is the hallmark of America. It's our charge, our call to duty. Whether it's escaping the persecution to have freedom of religion, or it's extending liberty by abolishing slavery, or affording women their right to vote, or tearing down that wall in Berlin. Liberty is what makes this country great. What makes this country great is that we stand as the land of the free. And we here today are standing to say we will have liberty for you and me. 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 That's what makes this country great. We are liberators as opposed to those that are administrators. We see the primary role of government as to protect our freedoms, as opposed to those who see it as to manage our lives. Our tax burden weighs on us heavily. Our debt as individuals and via our government engulfs our lives and that of our children. Our homes and businesses are more regulated today than they ever have been throughout history. Yet we are told that somehow this is done in the name of the public good and that we must accept it because it's the right thing to do. That our liberties must shrink so that our government may grow. Quite frankly, my friends, this is unacceptable. For we know that government can do nothing without first taking something. Money in the form of taxes, property in the form of condemnation, control in the form of regulation. Look, we believe government has its place, that a responsible government can make a good government, so long as it's of the people, for the people, and by the people. But what we are faced with today is an irresponsible government that is on the people, over the people, and squeezing the people. The reality of this economic crisis gives government expansionists a clear path to growing government's role in our economy. Our government holds a controlling interest in AIG, is poised to hold as much as 36% in Citigroup. Uncle Sam holds the fate of both GM and Chrysler in its hands. With this financial industry bailout and the recent spending package, government spending will account for about a quarter of our country's gross domestic product this year, a post-World War II high. Liberty is on the retreat, but we stand here today to say not anymore, that it's time to go the other way. It's time to move liberty forward, and we will have liberty for you and me. Liberty in this land of the free. Liberty is vital to our prosperous economy, for Coloradans, for Americans, where people can make a life for themselves, where they can get that job, run their business, or run their farm, where families can take their children to the park and feel safe in their communities. In order to protect our freedoms and achieve a prosperous economy, we must create the proper balance between the individual, a market economy, and a responsible government. A market economy that is based on one's merit, hard work, and innovation, where you have the opportunity to succeed, although some will fail, but everyone has the freedom to pick themselves back up and make a life for themselves. A market economy that is balanced with a responsible government. A government that works for the people, that keeps our taxes low, that builds roads and water systems, that protects our rights, upholds our Constitution, and defends our country.
That's right.
That strengthens the free enterprise system, that embraces technology for self-government, that gives parents choice in their child's education, and yes, is willing to give a hand up, not a handout. And for most Americans, a government that keeps its hands off our lives, respecting our individual liberties. This is your land. This is my land. This is our land. Liberty for you and me. Liberty in this land of the free. We have an amazing opportunity to create economic prosperity, reform our government, and build a better future. I stand here before you today because I'm ready to do my part. And I hope that each and every one of you are ready to do yours. Join the cause of moving liberty forward. The Gadsden Society, Liberty on the Rocks. Take action and deliver results. Together we can. For our children's sake. Together we must. Thank you. God bless and live well.